In this video, we will run Cinebench R23 to benchmark our CPU, Ryzen 9 9955HX. Before starting, I would like to inform you that our videos are now available in more than one language. Please feel free to choose the one that you are most comfortable with. Thank you. The laptop we are using is MSI Vector A18 HX A9WHG. Cinebench R23 is a free tool. It provides multi-core and single-core tests for the CPU. It also provides us option to select a test duration of 10 minutes or 30 minutes. Through preferences, we can customize the minimum test duration and render threads, but we will not look into the customization in this video. The tests will be performed with the AC power supply connected and in full performance mode. So let's begin. We will open the File menu. Enable the Advanced Benchmark option. That means it should be check-marked. From this drop-down, we can select the duration for which we want the test to run. We can keep this option off. In that case, the test will run for a single pass. Otherwise, we can select either 10 or 30 minutes. For the first test, we will keep it off and begin the test. Let's run the CPU multi-core test. The test measures how effectively a computer's CPU can handle demanding, parallel tasks by rendering a complex 3D scene simultaneously across all available CPU cores. Our Ryzen 9 9955HX is a 16-core processor. So the multi-core test is rendering the image fast. Also, make sure that while running the tests, no other process is running that can hinder the CPU performance. It took 21 seconds for the single-pass multi-core test to run on our 16 CPU cores. The score we got is 38,010. Now, let's run the single-core CPU test. It measures a CPU's performance when rendering a complex 3D scene using only one of its processing cores. A higher score in this single-core test indicates a faster processor for tasks that rely heavily on the performance of individual cores, such as some aspects of gaming and specific professional applications. Since we have kept the test duration off, the test will be performed for a single pass. It will take time as the rendering load is on a single core of the CPU. It took 6 minutes and 25 seconds for the test to complete. The score we obtained for the single-core CPU test is 2073. The MP ratio we obtained is 18.33. MP ratio is a value that indicates how much faster a CPU performs in a multi-threaded workload compared to a single-threaded one, calculated by dividing the multi-core score by the single-core score. An ideal MP ratio is close to the number of cores in the CPU, signifying efficient performance across all cores. Now, let's select the minimum test duration as 10 minutes and run both the tests again. First, we are running the multi-core test. We can use tools like hardware monitor to check temperature, clock speed of the cores, and many other parameters. In this, the test will do multiple passes for 10 minutes. We can see the number of passes mentioned here. Running a Cinebench test for 10 minutes or longer is significant because it simulates sustained CPU load and reveals how your CPU performs under real-world, high-demand conditions, factoring in temperature-based throttling. This extended duration provides a more accurate and average performance score compared to a single, shorter test run, and helps identify issues with CPU cooling or potential instability in overclocked systems. The multi-core test is going to end soon. We can see that 28 passes are performed. Here are the results. The multi-core score came out to be 36,755. Let's now run the single-core test. The test will run for more than a single pass. We can see that the test time is over, but the rendering is not completed. The rendering will be completed, then the results will be displayed. We can see that in the 10-minute test, the test has run 2 passes. We have obtained single-core score of 2063 points. If we want, we can perform 30-minute tests too. It serves as a comprehensive stability test, particularly useful for checking if an overclocked or undervolted CPU can sustain its performance under heavy load without crashing. We are not manipulating any hardware parameters of the CPU in our tests. We will just run it as a 30-minute stress test on the CPU to test its stability. Right now, the multicore test is running. The test is about to end. It has completed 80 passes. The score we obtained is 35,147 points. Let's run the single-core test for 30 minutes. The test is about to end. 5 passes of single-core rendering are performed. The score we obtained is 2,020 points. Note that the test results will depend on your laptop's cooling, other hardware, and the specific configuration. These were my 10-minute multi-core and single-core test results when I stopped using my screen recording software. The scores improved. These were some Cinebench results for our CPU, which I found on the internet. But it's not clear that the test scores found on the internet are single-pass scores, or 10-minute test scores, or 30-minute test scores. So we benchmarked our system's Ryzen 9 9955HX CPU in Cinebench R23. If you have a machine that has the same CPU, then this video can give you a fair idea of evaluating your CPU's performance. The scores may not be the same, but are expected to lie in a similar range. If you liked the information, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time and patience. Have a nice day.